Hi, Laura back from Business Academy, and today we have a Learning Objective 2 question from L4M1. Okay, so this question's in two parts, and part A is outline 3 ways in which supplier selection may add value in the sourcing process. So it's only 9 marks, but we want to make sure that you maximize those 9 marks. So the first thing that we should do in any answer is to define. And here we might want to define a number of things. You might want to define sourcing. Sourcing is how and where goods and services are obtained. You might want to define added value, and you can put that into your own words, or you can use Porter's, the activities that an organization engages in over and above the cost to that organization. So once we've defined, you can then go into the 3 ways. It says outline, that's our command word. So we're going to basically give an overview of the benefits or 3 ways in which supply selection adds value. In other words, 3 ways supply selection benefits us. Now, there are many different answers for this. However, I've put 3 here that I would potentially use. Fostering collaborative relationships. So obviously, if you get the right supplier who works with you, they'll want to work alongside you. And therefore, they will be collaborative, sharing new information, being more proactive rather than reactive, which could lead to less conflict, deeper, long-lasting relationships and more added value for the organization. And one of the reasons that closer collaboration creates added value is the second point here, that you are more likely to get the use of the innovation and expertise from that supplier. They should be the ones who know what they're doing the most. So this helps with them giving us new ideas for what we should use, for using expertise, that maybe that material will be better than the other, and so on and so on. And then saves time, waste, and reputational risk. So if you select the right supplier, you're not wasting your time. They're going to work for you. You're not going to have to go on re-tender or renegotiate that entire contract, whatever it may be. It saves waste because they should be getting it right first time. If they're the right supplier for you by having the right quality, the right service, and so on, that means there's less waste. And if they're doing everything right, they're the right supplier, they're working in an ethical and appropriate manner, this means there's less reputational risk because you shouldn't be associated with essentially bad behavior from your suppliers. So the way to think about this, guys, is there's 3 things, 9 marks. You're going to get 3 marks for each one, maybe a mark for definition and so on. So what I would be thinking is at a bare minimum, you need at least 3 sentences on each point that you make. It'd be nice to make these statements because these are statements, these bullet points here, then give an explanation of that bullet point, and then where possible, give an example, maybe of your organization or an organization of who you know, such as, a big player like McDonald's, Apple, Google, and so on. So let me show you what this actually looks like in an actual essay format. So remember, all of these are constructive response exams. That's what we're focusing on here to give you a little bit more help. So fostering collaborative relationships is a statement. So we can explain this in the following ways. The right supplier can help foster a collaborative relationship. This helps with the service that they can provide to you. They will work harder for your business and there should be less conflict. That's your explanation. And then an example. You could say something along the lines. This is just an example. My organization has a partnership with our key flour supplier. They work with us to ensure supply and give us priority. There you go. Those are your 3 marks in the bag if you do that for each and every point that you're making. Okay, so let's look at part B. Part B says describe 5 ways in which contract management might add value after the contract award stage of the sourcing process. So we can't just repeat the same things if you're going to define in this question. You don't want to define added value if you've defined that in part A because you're not going to get extra marks for this. So you may want to define what contract management is, or you may want to define added value if you haven't in part A. So I decided to define contract management, and it's the process designed to ensure that both parties meet their obligations and that the intended outcomes of a contract are delivered. I always feel like, I don't know if you get this, that the hardest part of any question is really just starting it. And starting with a definition just gets the ball rolling, and then you're ready to, meet the rest of the question. Even if you're thinking, oh God, this is awful, I hate this question. At least it gets the kind of juices flowing or the ball rolling, if you will. Okay, so these are my 5 points that I would use to answer this question. So remember, it's 5 ways in which contract management can add value. So these are the points that you would need to explain and give an example to. So these are just the statements here. So that's important for you to remember. Clearly identifying both parties' rights and obligations and working methods, so everybody knows what they're doing. They're singing from the same hymn sheet. It supports a positive development of the relationship. I don't know about you, but if I don't hear from a supplier, or basically anyone, from a long period of time, I get suspicious and think, what are they doing? What's happening here? And paranoia starts to step in, and that's not what we want. So that clear communication with the contract management should support positive development. You're working together to solve problems. It should improve the quality of delivery, either the products or services. Because of that, working together to solve problems, you should be getting it right first time. Or even if you don't get it right first time, you work together to get it perfect the second time. There's improved risk management. You get proactive risk management issues from the supplier. So they'll let you know about problems way before they would if you're not working closely with them. So it identifies those issues. And it inspires innovation from the supplier to deliver additional, potentially out of scope projects. And what that's saying is that they, because they've been working together with you, they feel like they can go the extra mile. They're going to work harder and maybe even innovate to create new projects with you and so on. So creating even more added value. Now, see what I've just done there? I've explained each and every one of these statements, which is exactly what you would need to do too. So remember to explain each and every one of your points. Don't just rush into the example. And everything that you write is a chance to gain a mark. So remember, don't leave early. Get as much information you can get down as possible and try and make sure that you're answering that question. So make your statements, give that explanation, and where possible, give an example as well. That could be the difference between a pass or a fail in your exam. Okay, so I hope you found this useful. Thanks so much for listening. Do come back and watch some of our other videos soon. We're covering all of the constructive response exams at CIPS. Thank you. Bye for now.